BeatStars.com. 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 BeatStars.com.
Run those bands on this motherfucker.
Welcome everybody to the show on the Man Tomorrow here. Thank you for like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I am probably one of the only men in the Manosphere that is black who cares about men's achievement. Everybody else is concentrated on how much they can respond to women in this space, and I am not one of those dudes. I am a dude here to help men move along with their own life without even having to have those people who don't want to even recognize you or do anything else for you until you have something else for them for you. That's how this stuff works. So you have to understand that. You have to understand that you have to break down the lame. You know, there has been interviews on Bernard Riley's show. There has been interviews on other platforms, but this is very integral to the conversation because he went over to the International Passports channel, lied about what he was actually doing in Atlanta, made it look like he cares so much about men that he decided to take off on vacation time when the actual criticism came forward. No person who wants to help people ever signs people up under a non disclosure agreement and doxing yourself in order to come to their actual event. That's what happened in Atlanta on the second and the third and fourth of December of this year. You can tell by the lack of promotion from the Angerman channel. You can tell by the lack of promotion from the actual OJ Duke Jackson channel. You can tell by the lack of promotion from the actual Obsidian channel. Obsidian doesn't have anything to bring to a conversation when it comes to productive black men, especially when it comes to IT. Obsidian depends on the everyday brother's problems to be monetized for his own personal wealth and gain. He's said it on many different occasions. Not a diss to Obsidian, love Obsidian, but I know when to get off the Obsidian train. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to Theo explain himself during an actual live stream. So hold on a second while I get this stuff started, and we could be able to move through this.
Hello, everyone, worldwide, wherever you are. Welcome to a very special live stream. We have a special guest here named Theo WAF who will be breaking down his upcoming incredible IT and Passport conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Before I go any further, brothers, I want to say a huge thank you to.
Okay, he said IT Passport Conference in Atlanta. At no point in this time did he said that actual black conservatives who are not organizing on the conservative side of the political spectrum are actually going to help with this conference, but that's who he invited to this actual conference itself. Again, when you go to other spaces and places, passing yourself off as somebody who you're not actually are, you can get away with this stuff. But at the end of the day, This is what's going on.
All the brothers who have supported this channel over the past few years. And welcome aboard the new members to the International Passport. You are greatly welcome.
Okay, let's stop here. What does a guy who makes $500,000 a year by his admission, why does he have in the upper right corner of his actual apartment, because this is an apartment, by the way, why does he have an actual wall unit for an air conditioner? You mean to tell me, as a guy who makes that much money per year, Squirrel Gray Machine, that you cannot afford a place that has, in Austin, a place that doesn't have central air and central heating? This looked like a goddamn efficiency, from the actual middle cabinets in the front door in the front, and whatever it is on the other side is another cabinet. This is not a way that a person who lives, a dude who actually claims that he makes $50,000 a month, live. Now, I can show you my numbers. There are places that I rent across the United States. There are 2 bedrooms and 1 bedroom. There's a couple in different areas in the United States. However, it doesn't look like this in the background. If you are the guy who's putting up $30,000 of your own money, there is no way in the hell that when you come on camera that you look like this. There's no way that that's the case. Remember, you said you made this money. I can show my numbers. I can show my tax returns. It's not even that big of a deal or a problem. So what we're going to do is going to go forward with what's actually going on here. So that way you can see how a lame works and who would take advantage of a lame themselves.
Accept you with open arms. Welcome, brothers. Again, hit the like button, brothers. Support the channel through the Cash App and through the Super Chats, brothers, to support the movement. And of course, like the video and subscribe to the video. As mentioned, brothers, we have a very special guest here called Theo WAF. You probably have seen Theo's face before, but since Theo has...
he don't have a channel. If he had a channel that was based on actually helping black men, there would be a track record of that. There would be a track record of his actual help with helping actual people. Like my channel that you think is for black men, it's for all men, period. But a guy who's not used to being in front of attention, he looks flummoxed in front of it. Why would you be wearing an actual headset that is actually based on sound reducing quality if you're actually in front of people all the time? Look at the background. What's going on, Spirit Logic Hope? What's going on, C. Iverson? You have to look at the background. Does this look like a high value guy who's going to teach high value things to actual men in the Manosphere?
Has been here last week. We've got some new members on here. So I'm going to ask Theo to introduce himself, who he is, what he does in America, why he travels, and we'll go on from there to speak about his conference afterwards. The floor is yours, Theo. Let us know who you are, brother.
Hey there. I'm Theo WAF. WAF stands for Web Application Firewall. I'm a specialist in that. I lived 12 and a half years in Japan as an adult, 1 year France, 1 year in Russia. I traveled well across the world more than once. I've actually flown around the world.
Let's stop right here. Then why the fuck are you exclusively in the areas of black, female, and male relationships? If you've done all that, I don't know a guy who's lived out there like that who is attracted to primarily the people who care about black male and black woman relationships. If you actually have done that, there is no way you would come back to the United States, even being associated with the black female and male dynamic. There is no person who has extensively traveled overseas for that period of time who come back to the United States hanging out in black female male dynamic spaces. There is no way that that's the case. I know I've lived overseas for a number of years. Came back to the United States, got some federal contracts, went back over to Germany on Ramstein, by the way, a place that I was actually stationed at. Aviano, Italy, a place I was actually stationed at. Went back over there for federal contracts as well. I don't know anybody who's over in those places who come back to the United States that is actually interested in the black male-female dynamic that they actually got away from, and they actually lived under a different system that actually supported them more than what it was in the United States. Let's go for it.
World more than once. Did 3 months in London, 3 months in Sydney, Melbourne, 3 months in Singapore. I've been to China a few times and other places. I focus on IT security. I work for financials, insurance companies, healthcare, all kinds of stuff like that.
How many different career fields did he say that he actually works for? He says he has 5 different jobs with Amazon AWS, making the amount of money that he makes per year. So he has to actually prove that he's actually doing those things. Not actually proving that he can put up the money for broke ass dudes who actually want to do the actual things that he's claiming to come out here for.
Do consulting. Now I focus mainly on not only web application firewalls, but AWS architecture. So I've been around. I was married to a Japanese woman before. I know what it's like to be in an international marriage. My main relationships I've ever had in my life have been abroad. I understand very well what it's like.
Now, he never said that he got took for the amount of money that he got took for. That's what the actual interview was when he went on to Bernard Riley's channel. He was talking about how he was taken for a lot of money about those actual adventures. That's not what the passport movement is about. That's not what SYSBM is about. None of those movement is about having the failure of yourself being taken advantage of by people from other places. You could have stayed here and got taken advantage of. But when you're a fucking lame like this dude right here, this is the actual idea of what you actually go through when you're an actual lame.
To be African American and be abroad and be dating. And I speak 4 languages, English, French, Russian, and Japanese. So,
okay, this guy speaks 4 different languages, but he's exclusively hanging out in places where he don't have to use his actual 4 languages of. What guy speak 4 languages got treated like a lame like that? Like, dude, if you speak 4 different languages, you should be able to connect with people in different places where you can actually connect with those individuals so that way you don't get used up as a lame like you clearly would in the United States. This guy could have went anywhere within Black America and got used as the same type of lame that he's used in within the United States. 4 different languages that he speaks, but when he comes to the Manosphere, he is exclusively in the zones of personnel who are exclusively dealing with the black male-female dynamic.
I'm here basically to give advice and to talk to Black men, both in the UK and the US, about how to pursue a different kind of life. I'm a part of the SYSBM movement.
You're not part of the SYSBM movement, sir. You're not. I'm an SYSBM knight of the SYSBM movement. No one knows who you are. You're claiming different things that you're not a part of, but you're going to do whatever you can beforehand before you actually have this Manosphere meetup in Atlanta. Nobody claims you. You've never been on anybody's channel for the most part. You never donated for the most part to any. This is the only channel that you've been on. Nobody knows your actual track record. The only track record that people know of is that you are a lame and you're willing to put up your own money. That's not a track record. If you cared about the men that you claim to be a part of, you would have an actual library of information that teaches you how to stay away from those particular things and how to move on to the actual information that made you what you are. You haven't done that yet. But we're going to keep going forward so that way we can be able to make sure that we're doing the right thing here.
Of course, I'm basically like, hey, use your passport, go to another country, deal with women who are actually feminine. And I try to help you guys to actually do that. I give advice on how to do that. So that's me.
Great introduction, Theo. Yeah, Theo has given valuable intel over the past few months regarding his experiences in Japan, Philippines, Russia, and all these various other countries. So we greatly appreciate Theo's experiences as a black man and him passing on that information onto us brothers. So Theo, this is a very special live stream. I thought I set up to
Okay, so here's the thing. When a guy said he's putting up his money for black men without putting up his time for black men, with an actual track record and everything else, when it comes to the actual deal, the guy's not putting up nothing but money. And we're going to go into the people who he invited to his actual live stream in actual Atlanta, so that way you can go over that too.
learn more about this IT and passport conference.
It's an IT and passport conference now, bro. You haven't been on anybody's channel outside of this and outside of the guy who I had onto my panel didn't even realize he wasn't SYSBM either. Like, dude, you're just bringing up stuff. If you've been here for a year, I would have seen you do something somewhere else other than places that people don't know you or places where you normally donate to.
We have coming up in literally a week or two from now, brother.
That's
to
right.
Me,
Yeah.
To me, it's going to be groundbreaking. It's honestly, it's the first I've ever seen someone take it a bit further from YouTube. Although we do have these little meetups, but this is a big meetup in a hotel where you can learn about IT and different things as well. But Theo, I want you to break down what this conference is, what it's officially called, and let's get into the meat of it. You know, what can brothers gain from this this conference? You know, and
This is very important because the people who actually went signed a non-disclosure agreement for actually something that helps them. So we're going to go to the actual guy with headphones on that is signifying that he's on some fire range or some shit. So that way he can explain what that is, what he's a part of. So he's going to explain what he's gathering all these people for and about.
it's very important that brothers know this, Theo. Go on, bro.
So the first part of it is actually called the Manosphere Meetup. It's it's about 7 content creators coming together at the hotel and actually giving their own speeches and presentations regarding the Manosphere and what they think is actually necessary to do. So that's actually going to be, kind of a fun, laid-back environment. Dinner will be there, drinks will be there.
Because this lame-ass nigga is going to pay for all that shit. Like, listen, I understand that people want to show up to meet Minister Jap, pretty cool person in person, Obsidian, actual Bernard Riley, Sub-Zero 369. Those about 3 other people who don't have content that is actually specific to why they met up. That's what's going on here. But at the end of the day, you need to understand the guy who put this on. People didn't watch this interview. I wanted to do this interview later before I went into the actual obsidian piece and everything else. So that way you can see the actual people who didn't show up and see what the actual mouth of the guy actually said about the meetup or other places that he didn't actually do in other spaces, especially not the Black Manosphere.
Kind of fun. And then the next day is going to be where I really take over. So the first part is going to be international passport. It's an hour and a half session regarding
An hour and a half after 2 fucking days. 2 days. There's going to be an hour and a half on passports. Even though he haven't given any type of content, he don't have any type of channel still. That explains why he's doing this.
what is necessary to do realistically in order to do international marriage. The kind of preparation you have to have, the kind of expectations you have to have. And then the second part will actually be.
But he never told you about how he was used up by the same women that he claimed is going to give you actual information on. He never brought that up. People don't even know this dude was used up for a lot of money. Dude, you could have stayed here and went through the same shit with the women here for the amount of shit that you went through overseas. That's why you're not one of the passport bros or SOSBM. Nobody's claiming you.
IT cloud computing and the Crimson capsule. I don't call it that, but we have the.
Yeah. So now we got another guy who's red pill, who's not going to tell you how he got used up by the same women that he's trying to avoid. And he calls it the Crimson capsule because he's trying to be, I don't know, slick about what he's talking about.
Analytics here on YouTube, Big Brother watching us. And it is actually combining Crimson capsule ideologies and thinking together with cloud computing and talking about it actually very much from the Black Manosphere, talking about how.
Let's go back through that. The red pill mixed with cloud computing, sir.
Call it that, but we have the analytics here on YouTube, Big Brother watching us. And it is actually combining Crimson capsule ideologies and thinking together with cloud computing.
How do you combine cloud computing with red pill philosophy? I don't know how that has ever worked. When you go to an actual job and actually interview for a process, they don't check whether you're red pill or not. They just want to know if you can work inside of their culture within their organization with the actual ability that you bring to the table. This is nuts.
And talking about it actually very much from the Black Manosphere, talking about how Black men can get into this field and also why there are barriers, what the barriers are, how to get around them. And so after that, if you attend it, then for about 15 weeks, I will be giving a free session regarding how to pass AWS certifications and then how to also get into IT computing.
Okay, that's very clear. So let's go over to because he says he's going to teach you how to do this stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the internet right now. We're going to go in and type in Amazon AWS because people don't know what's going on here. I'm going to type in Amazon AWS for free. So we're going to stop from here and we're going to share another screen here. Oh, look at there. The actual company, Amazon Web Services, have a free tiered account where you can learn about shit. And you have a class here, and a class there, and the class there, and the class there. and classes all the way down if you actually type in Amazon AWS. So why is it an individual want to come through and do that? This is what it is. Remember, this guy is so much of an Amazon AWS person that he doesn't think that people are smart enough to type in Amazon AWS for free and go through all the free courses that are there for. Now, the actual information that I was going to bring up on the last live stream, I used to own a strip club in Denver. There was a guy who got close to me and started selling free tickets to events that I was hosting at my club to women that he knew throughout the organization to where I worked at. This guy wanted access to me to sell free tickets to shit that I was putting on. Like, this is what this dude is doing. Like, there isn't any Amazon AWS people within this space. He knows that. He knows that there are not that many people in this space who understands Amazon AWS. So he can come in here and lie about everything that he's talking about without anybody be able to check him on his bullshit. Right? So let's listen to the Waffinator keep going on what he's talking about.
Computing. Additionally, I will be giving critiques on resumes and LinkedIn and telling people why they're failing on their LinkedIn and why they're...
Okay, let's get this under control. A guy who hasn't proven that he's hired anybody for Amazon AWS is going to look at your resume about Amazon AWS, and he's going to be able to dox you because you have to actually dox yourself to the Looney Tunes guy, right? Because it takes a Looney Tunes guy to actually point this stuff out to people that are not cut out for the career field that he's actually a part of. That's what we happen here. But when you're getting paid to go there, like some people in the Manosphere, they don't even care about what's truth. So we're going to keep going.
They're failing on their resumes and how to avoid being what I call being in a red ocean versus being in a blue ocean. How to base.
So he's going to teach you from being a red pill guy to being the blue pill guy in the ocean format, because he doesn't have any skills to teach you how to go into Amazon AWS, even though there is tons of free training. You're going to show up to free training that this guy is going to turn you on to. That's what we're going on. We're going to keep going forward.
Basically, how to show yourself as a specialist versus a generalist, and nobody cares about generalists.
Okay. So you're going to go through the Theo Festival in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're going to be able to pass yourself off onto experienced recruiters as if you are an experienced specialist when you're actually a generalist and you don't know what the fuck is going on, because you're going to pay attention to this guy. For the actual information that you're going to be paying attention to. Doesn't make sense, folks, but we're going to keep going forward.
Great introduction there, Theo. Oh, very interesting. Shout out to Joshua Epps for the $99 super chat. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated, bro, for kickstarting the donations this evening. ATL will be a classic, positive vibes. I will be in attendance. Lovely to hear that, Joshua. Thank you for letting us know about that, Joshua Epps. So Theo, this is looking like a very important meetup. We're gonna have discussion regarding the current affairs of dating, how to navigate dating, how to deal with your dating life and actually start dealing with foreign women. Then we have an IT educational section, or the cloud is the future. So you're preparing brothers to actually prepare for the future, because the cloud is the future. That's great.
That's
Go on, bro.
very correct. And what I'm preparing them for is, if they want to leave their country, if they want to go to someplace else and work,
that means that you're already at another place where you're not actually going to be stationed at, right? Because if you're teaching people how to go to another place that you're not actually at, that means that you're already at another place, not America, to where you're actually already at, right?
How do they do that? So I'm actually advising one guy on how to do this right now, and he's actually listening to me. It's taken me over a year of yelling at him, like, this is how you do it. Obey what I'm saying. Do what I'm saying. And now he went from making $60,000 a year to now he's about 120, and he's about to hit 200,000.
Okay, you have to explain that process, sir. No. Apparently, this laughing Theo is a troll. Leave him there. He has to answer Theo Wolf's questions. So if a guy went from where he was doing and listening to your advice, you have to provide the actual point of where he went from where he was to multiple $1,000s a year. You have to provide that proof.
And he's currently in Brazil. He's 31 years old. He's dating a 20-year-old. And
again, they're trying to get you to think that you can date people who don't have anything to bring to the table, and that you could just switch your shit around and do everything you need to do when coming to his conference. You couldn't figure this shit out on your own, right?
he has the option of actually staying there 6 months. And I was like, how much, like, what more did it take for you to listen to what I said? I've already done this. Listen to what I say. This is how you actually do execution. And, you know, on Facebook, Joe, today, he was sending me all these posts. He's like, I don't believe it. Like, this is actually happening. And this girl is great. I can't keep my hands off.
Okay. So which is more accurate? The fact that he found a woman that was interested in him, or the fact that he found Amazon AWS through him?
I'm like, good, go for it. You know, you really want a good woman? You've got one, okay. Maybe he says, I just want her, and I'm like, okay, just make sure you maintain frame, like, you know, keep your eyes open. But you know, she's good, you like her, then do the right thing and understand what you have to do. And he understands now that he has the possibility of living like every other month in America and then Brazil, going back and forth. And he's totally chill with this. He thinks this is a good way. I'm like, good. All right. Thank you for listening to me. And, you know, I'm a little vicious with him. I'm like, every time he says, like, there's an option, like, there's a possibility for his career to advance, I tell him, like, okay, so who told you about this 6 months ago? You, Theo. Like, yeah, I told you about this. Why didn't you listen to me? It really took you 6 months? Like, how much more money do I have to make for you to understand this? So, yeah, he's actually really happy sending all these photos, and he's like, yeah, this is the real deal.
Fantastic, brother. And I love the fact that he's making his money in American dollars, which is the highest currency in the world, but spending that in Brazil with a feminine chick. That's what I've been preaching for a long time, Phil. Making money in these high currency countries, UK, America, etc., Canada, but actually have that avenue to travel to neighboring countries that have feminine women there, so you can have a good time with their women there and not deal with American women who are horrible. And that's what I was seeing. Mm.
Yeah, that's exactly his situation. I mean, because I won't even date in the U.S. He's tried dating in the United States, and it was absolutely horrible for him. And I just kept on telling him, I was like, you've dated in other countries, you know what's going on. Is your passport actually up to date? He's like, no, I have to go update. Like, what are you doing? So go get your stupid passport up to date. So he finally did that. And then he was like, okay, well, should I go to Brazil? Like, you okay? Get on it. Should you go on it? Go buy the ticket. So he finally did it. He went there one time, loved it, met this 20-year-old, came back, kept on talking to her. And now, he's actually in Brazil right now. He's living with her. And like their family totally sanctioned it. And he's actually looking for an apartment. He can get a decent furnished apartment, $400 a month. And I was like, what? Why did it take you so long? I mean, really? Like, it really took you that long to listen? And now he's totally given up even looking at American women. It's gone. I'm like, thank you.
But you're in the chat of Bernard Raleigh, Little Big Nate, and all these other dudes who are domestic. But you have all this other passport shit to pass on, but you don't have a channel. It doesn't make sense, sir.
Why did it take it so long? You should have done this 2 or 3 years ago. So he's happy. He's totally converted.
Wonderful hearing that, brother. I want to also harp on the point as well, brother, regarding how this conference, right? Yeah, we want black men there, right? But we want a particular type of black man. So what type of black men do you want at
Oh, this is going to be good. You need to hear this.
your conference, bro? Because not every black man's on the same page. A lot of black men are simps. They're still in that liberal nonsense. They're still simping. They're still, just they have different ideas to conservative brothers like us. What kind of black men do you want at your conference, brother? Speak on that.
We want like-minded, conservative black men.
That's why you went to Atlanta, for conservative, like-minded black men. Go ahead, sir.
And these are men who are understand what it takes to work, values work, and know they want family. And these men are not gynocentric.
Really? Why is all the gynocentric men signing off on this shit? Why is Kendra D signing off on this shit if it isn't gynocentric women?
They're totally liberated from the matrix.
Why did you pick Atlanta?
They're not doing anything with feminism. And let me say this to anybody who's listening. These guys say, for example, equal pay for equal work, that it has to be equal work. Women can vote. They don't have any problem with that. No violence against women. No sexual assault.
Dude, that sounds like some liberal shit. If you don't actually look at, bro, that is liberal shit that you're spitting out of your mouth, bro.
Or anything like that. They're not into that at all. But they're like, afterwards, I'm the man and you respect me. And if you can't do that and you can't work together with me inside of a family, I don't need you. And that's it. They're gone. That's it. Again, if you're a feminist, you're going around trying to think you're superior to men, trying to put men down, stuff like that. These guys are like, hey, bye. Or just not ignore like I do. I don't even recognize. 100% ignore. So these are guys coming together, recognizing what they need to do in order to be successful, either internationally or just domestically or both. And some of these guys really want to go abroad to find someone. There's SYSBM. Or they're like, hey, marriage isn't for me, but I want to.
Hold on a second. You're not part of SYSBM either. You're not. So was Baja Frescobar was also not part of SYSBM. He had to be told to his face, but you're not either. That's the actual thing. You're not.
Be successful and be prosperous where I am right now. What do I need to do in order to make that next step? Because where I am right now is not good, and I want something more.
Okay, look in the top right corner. There is ama- an actual air conditioner that is in some hood level of bullshit. Does this guy look like he make $500,000 a year with all this shit going on? Look how small that door is in the corner. That guy is wearing headphones for an actual skeet shoot for fucking shotgun rifles. That guy is wearing the headphones of skeet shooting. Unreal.
These are the kind of guys I'm teaching.
Okay, brother. So I want to make this very clear to any brothers that's watching this. If you're on that foolishness, if you're on
conference in order to be continuously engaged and trying to figure out how to advance their career, being realistic about where they are in life.
If you're realistic about where you are in life, you wouldn't go to Theo Wolf about anything. He doesn't have a channel. The only people he paid was Minister Jap, Lil Big Nate, what's the guy name? Bernard Raleigh. Those dudes paid you to look like a fool.
And being realistic about budgeting, like how much cash flow they have. Like, for example, if you have $100,000 a year, what does that really mean? Like, what does that mean in your pocket?
No, what does it mean with women who don't give a fuck about you? I endorse all the women who actually took you for your money. I endorse all women doing that shit. Shout out to the women who actually took Theo Wolf for actual ducats and dough. I congratulate all you women. Because he's going to give his money to Mr. Jab, Lil Big Nate, and actual fucking Obsidian to make him feel like he's an upstanding black member of the Manosphere. I endorse those dudes doing that shit to him. Period. Dude was a lame. Came out here, paid Minister Jap. No, goddamn well, Minister Jap don't actually respect lames at all. But he will show up there with you and take your fucking money. Bruh, crazy.
Because in reality, that's like, it sounds like this big number. It's actually like after taxes, if you're single, it's only about $6,000 a month. So what are you going to do with $6,000 a month? How do you really think of what's your game?
You spend the money on yourself, sir. You spend the money on yourself, sir. You spend the money on actually doing shit for yourself and not actually trying to gain the favor of women who never respected you in the first place.
Plan with that, because you have to take this on a month per month basis and being realistic with guys, because there's just guys, as I've talked with them, they're in la la land about how much $10,000 is a month. They don't understand it. Additionally, I'll be talking about what it means to be a high value man, what realistic, what the struggles are, what it really means, and how they really live, and trying to really enforce the guys that this isn't playtime. Being high value is actually a sacrifice and difficult to do.
Okay, if being high value is sacrifice, discipline, and hard work, why would you do it with women who are not worth it, sir? Why is that not the case? Jesus.
It's not something easy. It's not Call of Duty. Call it being low value in Call of Duty is simple. And so I'm going to really do this and show this to the guys, but then also at the same time show them how easy AWS is. Like,
so you're going to go to Atlanta to realize how easy AWS is, rather than a free course that you didn't sign up for, that he didn't tell you about. What's going on, guys? I don't understand it.
Cloud computing, show them how easily they can work, what the cash flow is, and how they can get a career. And that's not going to be talking. I'll be talking some about it, But it'll be like, get your computer open. Let's do this now. Let's do a lab. Let's walk through it.
Why don't you go to places that are already free that you don't have to come to Atlanta for? How come he's not telling you about that? That guy is wearing a headset like he is going to a live fire training exercise. Why is he telling you about shit that you don't need headphones for?
And I'm going to be taking the people who have the least confidence.
Oh, the people who have the least confidence and do what?
And putting them in front of everybody and showing them, working with them, that they can be successful. So that's how the conference is really going to be laid out.
Thank you, Theo. Great breakdown, brother. Can we have details of this conference? How can brothers book themselves in this conference? Is there a website link? How do we actually book ourselves to this conference, Theo? It's next week, so we want to get as much people from the channel to go to your conference, bro.
Let's keep this in mind. The guy does not have a channel. He has to go to everybody else's channel to get his message out. If you had simply a channel about the things that you were doing, it wouldn't be a problem. I had to have a channel of 500 people for a while before I came out with a channel talking about the shit that I was doing. I didn't have a problem with people not following. The results mattered. And if you don't understand that, if you cared as much about these men that you claim you do, you would have a channel for that. But you're going to get Minister Jab, Bernard Rowley, Obsidian. You're going to pay those dudes multiple $1,000s to bring on this bullshit, and you think that you're going to be able to make it out of it? People are laughing at you. They are laughing at you. Who thinks that actual meetup was worth $30,000?
So you really need to be a part of the Facebook group, and then you need to contact me directly. Say that you want to go, and then I will link you into the right guy.
The right guy was actual Lil Big Nate, a 50-year-old guy in insurance who's washed up, like the rest of these washed up dudes in the Manosphere, who didn't actually do anything for the actual meetup. Leader 30 didn't actually promote it. Kevin Samuels didn't promote it. Obsidian kind of promoted it. You know, nobody within the space actually promoted it because they knew you was a lame. That's why I left it open. So that way people who think that he did a good thing can actually do it.
And tell you what you need to do. If you're already in Atlanta, that's probably the easiest because you already have housing.
Why would you go to the most liberal city in the most liberal state to actually push something for black men? You can actually do this stuff in anywhere else in the country.
You just have to go to it. The price for the conference is $0. You just have to show up. Basically, you have to be approved. We have to know you're like-minded.
What is like-minded with a guy who don't bring shit to the table, with a guy who has noise, but I think it's reasoning canceling headphones on, so that way he can show off his big ass forehead and talk about Amazon AWS shit. Dude, if you have a forehead that big, you cannot put on orange headphones, sir. You can't do that. It highlights the forehead. This motherfucker is named Headquarters. You cannot show up looking like Lord Helmet in Headquarters by doing that. Stupid shit.
Know who you are.
He's going to dox you, and then he's going to be able to have all of your personal information to hold against you if you ever complain about his meetup. That's why nobody is complaining about his meetup and how lame it was, because you had to dox yourself to this big forehead ass motherfucking dude.
to the organizer, there's a guy who's actually doing the organization for this. You have to tell him your government name and then also your YouTube name so we know who you are.
That would be Little Big Nate, a guy who actually works for the insurance industry. If he actually knows your name, he knows what kind of cars you have insured and everything else. That's the deal. You have to dox yourself to people so that way you can be sworn to secrecy about the shit that went on during the Manosphere meetup. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
As we're making name tags. So we have to have some way of identifying you. And then when you actually, if you decide to take my 15-week course, you have to buy.
We got a 15-week course here, sir. Let's see what Theo Wolf is going to offer in this 15-week course.
Buy a book that's $60, and then you have to take a course on Udemy, which I'm using, and that's about $10, maybe $12, something.
You don't know? You don't know, sir? You're going to require the people to show up to a free meetup, buy a $60 book to come to some more free shit? Oh, please tell me how this works.
Like that. So it's not going to be any more than $75 for the materials for the course. And none of it goes into my pocket. I mean, it's you buy the textbook on Amazon, Udemy is Udemy. It's just
okay, you're going to buy the textbook on Amazon. You're going to come to Theo Wolf shit on Udemy. You're going to pay for the course, and none of the money is coming into his pocket. What's going on here?
And a place you can take computer courses. And from then on, I just lead you. It's easy.
Thank you.
Is it that easy? Is it? How come he can't tell us how he went through his platform, the way he's talking about from where he was before and where he was after? Doesn't make sense.
Theo, here's a link to my Facebook group in the live stream chat, brothers. If you're not part of
Barbados or 2 weeks in Dominican Republic first and see how you like that. Can you deal with it? And then if you can, okay, come back, try to do a month, maybe do a month in Costa Rica. If you can handle that, come back to the States or go to the UK, fine. And then after that, maybe think about 6 months abroad. You know, take your time, build up to it, because there's some.
Take your time after going through his course and going through this bullshit, and then figure out where you're okay with abroad.
Some guys who really don't understand what they need to do or what living abroad is. And it's not going to be realistic with them to help them out with the work, the situation, how to deal with customs, legal, the entire kabang.
Thank you, Theo. I just had to block a troll on the chat. You see, this is for it so far that you've got, bro.
So it's about 160.
Oh, nice.
But we don't know if 160 will actually show up. So we're hoping.
So you're gonna spend $30,000 to teach 160 people how to do Amazon AWS, even though the shit is free online other places.
That like 80 to 90 actually show up. So we're being realistic with people who are kind of thinking about it versus people who are actually going to show up.
So I'm going to tell you this up front. Dudes who claim to be making $500,000 a year, this is not their surroundings. I make several magnitudes beyond that. I don't have an actual one-bedroom apartment that I rent across the country that looks like this. He looked dumb being a part of this.
Thank you, Theo. Hold on, brother. Shout out to Chosen One Music for the $4.99 super chat. What's up, my brothers? Hey, what's up, my brothers? Up. Hey, IP. I sent a request to your FB group. Blessing to you, or all one love. Thank you, Chosen One Music.
From homelessness to making like a
For it so far that you've got, bro.
This is very good to listen to because you need to understand how a guy who claimed that he talked to fishermen and actually got them into Amazon AWS, and that's what's going on here.
So it's about 160,
Oh,
but
nice.
we don't know if 160 will actually show up. So we're hoping that like 80 to 90 actually show up. So we're being realistic with people who are kind of thinking about it versus people who are actually going to show up.
Thank you, Theo. Hold on, brother. Shout out to Chosen One Music for the $4.99 super chat. What's up, my brothers? Hey, what's up, my brothers? Up. Hey, IP. I sent a request to your FB group. Blessing.
From homelessness to making like a huge salary. So I'll be talking a lot about what that path.
Again, if you had people who was fishermen and who was making $100,000 a year, if you had a channel, you would be able to talk about that.
Was what I had to do in order to get to that point. Why I failed. And I'll be very honest. And what for example, I took therapy. Well, what was the effect of therapy? Like why was I able to there's a direct correlation between therapy and my salary. And I'll be actually explaining why that worked and also how I was taking more Chrism capsules and basically freeing myself. And the more that I freed myself from the matrix and the more Crimson capsule I took in therapy I had, amazingly, my cash flow just kept out increasing. And I could eat like Wagyu or Japanese beef. I could eat that normally if I want to, or I could have, as I always say to people, I was making enough money that I could overeat and pay for the personal trainer at $70 an hour and still have more money that I don't know what to do with and invest and do stupid stuff. Is going to be
like actually invest into a Black Manosphere meetup.
On that path, I'm done. So that's why this is the big reason I decided I'm only going to teach men.
Yep, I agree with you in that, Theo. You know, anyone who disagrees, that's your problem. That's your problem. You know, do your own stuff. This is Theo's stuff. You know, put up your own money. Shout out to Jay Takashi for that super.
And I'm gonna roast and destroy Obsidian for actually thinking this is the case.
Be greatly appreciated. Thank you, brothers. You don't miss no live stream to support. Thank you, brother, for the $2 super chat.
Okay, so what we're gonna do at this point, we're just gonna be able to a guy who's apparently SWSBM and everything else. We're gonna give him an actual chance to come up here and actually it's not a big deal, right? That is the Theo off interview that he did on International Passport Channel, lying about what he did everywhere else. And that's what it is. Not a problem. So if the actual person who's called Theo, what the fuck was that? Laughing Theo. Dude, you can come up here. You can, because I'm having a real Theo up here a couple weeks from now. Everybody who thinks this was a success, please do come up here. Because I want to know what an actual idea of an actual a secretive meetup in the wide open is going to do. It's crazy. You don't add any information to the actual channels that you're actually on, but you actually going to go somewhere else and try to make it look like you're adding value to the group. I want to know what that means. The only people who think that you are successful at this is people who are think you're going to be future licks in the group. Oh, I'm gonna go through the actual the Crimson Cure so that way you can understand why nigger bitches should not be talking about the red pill. Oh, I'm going over that too. But right now we're dealing with Theo Waff, who's actually wearing an actual headphones like he's going to a firing range. There has to be more people out there who want to actually defend the Manosphere Meetup. Remember, he made you sign an actual non-disclosure agreement. A non-disclosure agreement for a free event for men. What person has actually done it in this space? Where are you? AM1? Where are you? Edward Anderson? Where are you? Obsidian? Where are you? Bernard Riley? Where are you? The Prophet of the Thought series? Where are you? You mean to tell me that you can only defend this shit on a platform where you can't allow other people up, Little Big Nate? Just so you telling me that you can't defend it in the wide open? You only can defend it from a place where you can't allow other people up to challenge it? Hold on a second. What we're going to do is we're going to go over some, like, dude, you have a big ass fucking forehead, man. Bro, you can't do that with a forehead that big. You can't do it. You can't do it. We have to call you Lord Helmet. So what we're going to do, while we're waiting on people to come through, is we're going to look at Ludicrous Speed going after the actual liberal woman. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wait on Theo Waff to come up because he's going after the ludicrous woman at a ludicrous speed.
Attack. Prepare to attack on the count of 3. 1, 2. Wait! What happened? Where are they? I don't know, sir. They must have hypertents on that thing. And what do we got on this thing? A poison arm? No, sir. We'll find them, catch them. Yes, sir. Prepare ship for light speed. No, light speed is too slow. Light speed too slow? Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed. Sir, we've never gone that fast before. I don't know if the ship can take us. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? Prepare ship! Prepare ship for ludicrous speed. Fasten all seatbelts. Seal all entrances and exits. Close all shops in the mall. Cancel the free-range circus. Secure all animals in the zoo. Give me that, you petty excuse for an officer. Now hear this. Ludicrous speed! Sir, you better buckle up. Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go! Baseball 1. They've gone to plaid. We passed them! Stop this thing! We can't stop. It's too dangerous. We'll get this little first. Bullshit! Just stop this thing! I order you! Stop! Are you all right, sir?
Fine. How have you been?
Fine, sir.
Good.
It's a good thing you were wearing that helmet.
Yeah.
What should we do now, sir?
Well, are we stopped?
We're stopped, sir.
Good. Why don't we take a 5-minute break?
Very good, sir.
Smoke if you got 'em.
So we don't have any Lord Helmets who can jump on and defend this shit. Like, remember, this shit was such a success. You know, you had like Bernard Riley with 6 comments in this chat. You had Kendra D with who is actually going to be the beneficiary of these dumbass dudes who's going to come and do through and do this shit. Like, where are all these black Manosphere meetup success motherfuckers? Where are they at? Like, how come they don't know what's going on? Where are they? Where are they? Where is your chin strap, sir? Nothing. You can't defend what you was a part of. What is going on here? What's happening? You mean to tell me that you're only right when you have a free flow platform through the Prophet of Thought series and the Bernard Riley? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? You dudes need to be not criticized for anything so that way you can be right. That's where we at. No. Don't think this shit's over. Dorian Ness, $10 super chat. He doesn't want to defend this product. He should want to defend this product. But we have found Theo Woff. And we're going to be able to look into what he was actually thinking when he was actually being called to the carpet about this Manosphere meetup. So hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because we found Theo Woff. We found him. We found him. But we need to be able to understand what Theo Woff was doing while he was actually waiting on this shit to blow over. So what we're going to do is we're going to go after Theo Woff because we found Theo Woff. We found him.
Know it. Leave me alone. No, kiss me. No, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Oh, your helmet is so big.
I am black! You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good!
That is what Theo Woff was doing in the Manosphere after he was being criticized the hell out of for his meetup. Lord Helmet was playing with his dolls. Remember, nobody promoted this shit because you didn't pay him. Like, listen, once you pay Bernard Riley, Little Big Nate, Bernard, like, dude, O'Shea wasn't going to promote this shit unless he was paid. And even if he was paid, he was not going to be part of some bullshit like you pulled off. Angry Man was not paid. Why would he be a part of some shit that was embarrassing as this shit? You have to understand, once you are a lame, you're always a lame. You're not going to be able to level up beyond that. Like, bro, no one think Mr. Jet runs shit around in the Manosphere, except for dumb niggas. You really think that the PlayStation Minstrel is going to help you with whatever the fuck it is you do? These dudes are clowning your ass behind the scenes, bruh. They're clowning you because you thought you was going to be able to buy the actual credibility of people who didn't have any. That's how dumb you are as a person. These people actually think that that these people even, dude, they don't care about that shit. They can't even defend why they're here. Like, look at this dude. He thinks that I'm here for super chats. I'm here for the actual ability for men to move forward without money. I already got money. If I didn't have money, I wouldn't be here. Listen, I said I was here and already had money before that. The industry that I'm in, the industry is the why you eat, is the reason why I'm here. I don't need no fucking money, bruh. I don't need it. So, as long as a person is receiving super chats, they're considered successful. It doesn't matter the fact that they don't give a fuck about where black men are going. They don't care about it. They don't give a fuck about where white men are going. They don't give a fuck about where no men are going. The only thing that they're here for is the fact that they're receiving money from hoes and whack ass dudes. That's what these dudes are here for. The lowest common denominator. That's what they're here for. They attach themselves to a space that was supposed to be helping men to turn around and actually help women with it. You know what type of dude want to see other men on camera, right? You know what type of dude who want to see that, right? Now I know that you're not even a part of the channel because last year and year before last about this time, because I don't work between January and April every year. I used to be on camera every single time when I wasn't working. But at the end of the day, if this guy doesn't know the channel that he's actually commenting on, he doesn't know that most of my live streams that I'm actually on camera happen between January and April. But see, in his actual mind, no one else can be wealthy and not need money except for dudes like the dudes he support. That's the actual deal. That's the problem. Bro, you don't have to go back that far to see me on camera. This guy was like, oh, you ain't on camera. That means that you ain't real. I'm like, bro, I was on camera when I was like, bro, listen, you have to understand. You're out here by yourself. Bernard Raleigh is not out here with you. Obsidian is not out here with you. Minister Jab is not out here with you. Edward Anderson is not out here with you. AM1 is not out here with you. The Crimson Cure, Kendra D is not out here with you. You out here by your goddamn self. You can't even explain it. The only thing you can do is explain it through trolling. You know what? Even SKC isn't out here with you. You out here by yourself. Paying a whole bunch of dudes that you don't know so that way you can get some Manosphere clout. Bruh, you don't even understand how this shit works. They're laughing at you. Laughing at you. Why do you think that you required all these dudes to sign a non-disclosure agreement for showing up to your whack ass event? So that way they can have the protection of not talking about it and complain about how you was a whack ass dude. Hey, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't think it's O'Shea's people. I think it's dudes who were this dude's people right here. I don't think it's O'Shea doing that shit. O'Shea knows what the fuck I look like. O'Shea knows that I did like 10, I wouldn't say 10, but 5 interviews on this channel. I don't think it's O'Shea. I don't think O'Shea is even involved with this shit at all. I don't think Angry Man is even involved with this shit at all. I don't think Obsidian is involved with this shit at all either. The motherfuckers know what the fuck I look like when I used to come on camera 3 years ago. I don't think that's the case. I think people think that doing that shit somehow makes you more relevant than the next dude. It doesn't. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's none of the people's case. None of those people who y'all name, I don't think that's anybody beyond that. I think that this is this dude's issue and this dude's issue alone. I look exactly what the photo looks like. Maybe younger. All right. Since this guy doesn't think that I've never came up on camera, hold on a second. Let's go to this guy and show him an actual interview where I cammed up at. Hold on a second. Because it's not really that big of a deal to actually come on camera. It's just that I need to be home for that. I need to be presentable for that. I'm out on the road 3 and 4 months at a time, so I look like a Taliban field commander when I'm the fuck out here. Actually, you can look at the actual Ike interview. I was on camera for the Ike interview on my channel. Yeah, but why would a dude who dresses up in the t-shirt clown a nigga that's in a suit? And if you believe that shit, that's on you. I'm in a suit because I want to be taken seriously when I go in front of other people. I'm not in a fucking t-shirt when I talk to these motherfuckers from the military industrial complex. That's not a diss on O'Shea. It's a diss on your actual criticism. I heard all that shit. Most of that shit was funny as fuck. It was. I'm not gonna lie to you. All that criticism was funnier than a motherfucker. I got all the fucking live streams. That's how I come I didn't flag it. Because most of that shit was funnier than a motherfucker. It was. Come on, man. I'm not lying. That shit was funnier than a motherfucker. It was. Come on, man. You watch the shit. That's why you asking about it. That's why you think I'm going to diss O'Shea and I'm not. Most of that shit was funny as fuck. It was. It was actually funny as fuck when fucking Angry Man did it, calling a nigga a Mississippi mudflap. That shit was funny as fuck too. You know what, nigga? I got like some fucking mud flaps on one of my truck called the Mississippi Mudflap. I cannot wait till I get in that truck again, and I'm gonna take a picture of that fucking truck so that way, hey, Angry Man can know that I made mud flaps based off of his fucking criticism. I do shit with the money that I fucking make out here. And y'all don't even know that I fuck with most of these people behind the scenes like this. Why y'all think we hating each other? We don't. It's just that certain motherfuckers who think that they on some bullshit, who think they about to make it. That's what I'm clowning. That's where I'm at, man. Bro, listen. This is your criticism. You have to come out here and make content based on the shit that you are about. You cannot pay motherfuckers outside of the content that you produce. No, I'm good. I could just tell the truth, and if we can move on from it, it's not a problem. So with that said, this is the Theo Waff dude. The guy who paid for the entire Manosphere meetup that all these people are congratulating. They're congratulating him on being a lame ass dude. Everybody's looking for a lame right now. Everybody's looking for a lame ass dude right now. So with that said, on the man tomorrow, and if you guys want to ever fucking come after me, this is the actual fucking email. Yeah, bro. I dropped my motherfucking email all day to the fucking loan. So that way you're not out there talking shit to a fucking ghost. I can defend my points of view. Can you defend yours? In an actual fucking 1-to-1, toe-to-toe battle? I know I can. So that's where I'm at. The Theo Waff interview on International Passports channel. This guy was not a part of anything. He tried to buy his way into the Manosphere, and nobody fucking respected that shit. Except for dudes who wanted to take control of his fucking actual dumbass ability to be taken advantage of. I don't think that shit's cool. If I was in contact with this dude, I would have told this dude, you know what? Make some fucking content. Make your actual point of view through your actual content. Don't give these niggas no fucking money for no reason. Are you out of your mind? Don't do that. Because you're going to look like an even bigger fool whenever you do it. So, Lil Big Nate, Obsidian, all these motherfuckers who think that I am somehow not able to be reached, the fucking email is there. It's always been there. In the about section, in the comments section, the shit's been there. So, with that said, I'm the man of tomorrow. I thank you guys for listening. And we're going to go after this contrived event going forward. Thank you so much for coming through. You guys have a really nice day. Later.